rage bait comment sections, boomers on social media falling for clickbait slop, the waking nightmare of infinite CAPTCHA screens. These are among the worst aspects of the internet today. Yet I would argue there are few aspects of online life that are as obnoxious as pop-up ads. Yet for some ridiculous reason, that's exactly the experience that Stellantis is adding to its cars. Yes, ads that pop up on your car's infotainment screen, covering the pixelated real estate and leaving you to wonder why you even bothered buying anything older than model year 2015. I genuinely am at a loss that this is something currently happening in the auto industry. And, I was going to apologize for sounding like an old man shouting at clouds, but I realized I created Fuel for Thought with the goal of giving me and Brian a separate segment to get out all of our old man complaints from our system. So let's talk about how dumb this is. And join me for some theories on why I think this is happening, and what it really means for the automotive industry, and for you, the consumer. Ugh, I am so annoyed right now, and I don't even drive a Stellantis car. Holy sh**. We can rant if we want to. We can send our best regards, because your friends don't rant, and if they don't rant, then they're not into cars. Alright, so in February 2025, the Autopian reported on a Jeep owner who started their car and was met with a pop-up ad covering their entire infotainment screen like a flyer for a chili cook-off or a preteen lawn care enterprise. And, as if doing it solely for memes, the ad was Stellantis trying to reach the driver about their car's extended warranty. And while there is debatable merit to the FlexCare Extended Care Premium plan, although it's kind of a mouthful and also redundant, I feel like sending a pop-up ad directly to the infotainment screen represents a fundamental misunderstanding of human psychology. Because even if I wanted FlexCare, I would swear off getting the damn thing on principle once I saw this ad staring me in the face like a congressman trying to understand the supply chain. But what makes all of this worse is that the ad wouldn't exactly go away. It kept coming back anytime the Jeep wasn't in motion. So the Autopian reached out to Stellantis for a statement on this, and they responded saying that this was a software glitch that was subsequently corrected. But fast forward to November 2025, and it's happening again, as Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram drivers are being met with marketing notifications, quote-unquote, for a $1,500 retail bonus cash offer, because late-stage capitalism really sucks at reading the room. This is almost like a mobster in an old movie saying, "Gee, nice car you have here. Would be a real shame if you missed out on extra money by keeping it instead of buying new." And look, I'm not saying that there's an implied threat to remotely brick your car for ignoring these ads, but what I am saying is that I wouldn't be surprised if Stellantis tries to move current model year inventory by trying to nag people into their local dealership. Except in some cases, you can't even tell right away that it's an ad, because the typeface on some of these notifications is so small. I mean, at first look, it could almost be some sort of critical system error notification. So, yeah, there's that. But what makes this round of pop-up ads particularly stupid and infuriating has been Stellantis' response, because the Autopian reached out to them for a comment again, and they explain that these advertisements are part of their in-vehicle message, or IVM technology, which is intended to provide vehicle health information, recall alerts, and yes, exclusive sales offers. But hey, it's not that big a deal since these notifications only appear at startup and when the car is stationary, and they'll disappear once the car starts moving, once the driver X's out of the screen, or after 15 seconds, and it'll only return at startup if they clicked Remind Me Later, or if they didn't X out or hit OK the first time. But you can opt out permanently whenever you want. You just have to call our customer care line. And that response is so profoundly dumb. If Stellantis were a kid in elementary school, they'd be taking remedial homeroom. Because the statement tries to ease the tension without really addressing the underlying problem that people have with all of this. Because these ads are intrusive, and the fact that there's no in-system opt-out function is practically criminal, because people have lives. They have things to do, if not important things, at the very least better things than sitting on the phone with an associate talking them through opting out of a program they should never have been enrolled in to begin with. And all I can imagine is the non-zero possibility of customer care turning into customer retention. And, they try to talk you out of opting out like that one viral Comcast call from God only knows how many years ago, and even then my saying that probably isn't narrowing it down. And I understand that that's a pessimistic assumption based on nothing but my own cynicism, but what alternative is Stellantis really giving me here? So, why is all of this a big deal? Why does it matter? And I'm trying to find the most judicious way to say this, and trust me, I've thought about it for a while. So here goes. The problem with pop-up ads on infotainment screens isn't the ads themselves, but what they represent. And what they represent is the transfer of control from the driver to the manufacturer. It's essentially a reminder that you don't own the experience of driving anymore, because the manufacturer keeps intruding on it. It used to be that you bought a car and then you didn't really think about the automaker anymore unless something went wrong, or you were trying to trade it in, or you were taking it in for service at your dealership, or the manufacturer issued a recall. But for the most part, when I bought my old Mustang, I didn't really think about Ford much, because the car was mine. The manufacturer had no control over what I did with it, and they had no presence in the cabin. There were no demands on my attention saying like, hey, look over here, acknowledge me. I'll go away, but you have to acknowledge me first. It used to be that the engineering, good or bad, was the only real presence the manufacturer had in your drive. But pop-up ads are indicative of a shift in control that's actually pretty sinister, because there's really only two reasons an automaker would want to be up in your business like a Karen trying to return a crock pot without a receipt, and the reasons kind of go hand in hand. Data and monetization. Now, ignoring the data part of it all for a minute, how they use the software of the car to report on your driving to insurance companies, allegedly, there's an obvious push in the auto industry towards recurring monetization, billing cycles for things that just used to come standard on a car. And look, I know not all cars had heated seats standard. You had to get a certain trim to have them. But once I get that trim, those seats should be mine. Full stop. Yet BMW came under fire in recent years for locking those heated seats behind a paywall, and other automakers have followed suit. Tesla and Mercedes caught a lot of flack for paywalling performance upgrades, like horsepower increases, things that the car is capable of doing from the moment you purchase it, that you won't be able to actually use unless you hand over those credit card digits. You even see brands like Toyota getting rid of full-size spares for the apparent reason of reducing weight. Yet I can't help but feel like it's to get you to sign up for roadside assistance. I don't know, it just feels so blatantly anti-consumer. Modern cars hardly feel like they share anything with previous generations, because even a Ford Taurus or a Chevy Malibu in various stages of disrepair still felt like actual cars intended to be cars first, rather than a billing department on four wheels. The manufacturer has all the control because they can shut any of these features off at their leisure the minute you miss a payment or a card declines. And these pop-up ads are an extension of that because they're trying to further monetize your driving experience by encouraging you to pay more for things you don't really need. And you could argue that, hey, it's not as commercialized as it sounds. It's still in its infancy. They're only just advertising to you a couple of little things. But I mean, that's kind of where it starts, right? These pop-up ads are the beginning of more of that nonsense. And the argument is, hey, they're a business. Their goal is to make money. You don't like it? Vote with your wallet. And I completely agree, and I hope more people do. But the impression that I got is that some of this is being introduced after the fact, presumably through over-the-air updates, I would think. And it's leading to people swearing off brands they were once loyal to, in a way that really makes you wonder why they would choose to do something like this in the first place. Stellantis is already at a major deficit of paying customers right now. So why are they doing this? Well, I don't know this is just my theory, but I think the reason that they're doing this is because pop-up ads are annoying. It's not a bug, it's a feature. The ads being annoying is the point, because it incentivizes you to one day pay to be rid of them. Now, to my knowledge, there are no current model packages that provide the option of having no pop-up ads, but is it really that much of a stretch to think that in the near future, one of the selling points of a top-tier trim is that you're automatically opted out of the in-car ads? They're monetizing advertisement fatigue in the hopes that people will pay more not to have to deal with this problem, only to then do what virtually every streaming service has done this year and jack up prices, sending you a notification that, hey, we see that you're currently subscribed to the ad-free tier, but the price is going to be increasing by $5, so if you want to stay on this tier, you'll have to change it in settings, otherwise you'll be automatically enrolled in the ad-supported tier at the current price. And to be fair, cool, thanks for the heads up. But also, what the hell, man? You're jacking it up and offering me less. I was in the middle of watching every single Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and now they're just gone. I mean, God forbid a guy can't get to every horror movie he wants to see before November 1st. And that's really what the indignity is here. Cars cost more than they ever have. Fewer people are able to afford them than at any point since the dawn of the commercially available passenger car, and they're offering less than they gave us literal decades ago. Clumsy, capacitive touchscreens instead of buttons, digital systems that brick your entire car if they malfunction, and standard features you have to pay extra to get. And I know, automakers are in this weird catch-22. Fewer people are buying our cars, so we need to get the most money out of the people who do buy them by implementing a recurring billing cycle on top of their monthly payment. But a recurring billing cycle on top of their monthly payment means people don't buy our cars, so we need to get even more money out of the people who do buy our cars, and so on, and so forth. Like an infinity mirror in a funhouse filled with bricked-up clowns ready to bust at the concept of you borrowing against your retirement to afford a Jeep Wrangler. Automakers have been trying to innovate, but now their innovation begins and ends at finding fresh ways to put its customers over a barrel. The consumer is being run through like a double-dare finish line, and most of these companies should be thanking their lucky stars for the select few who do decide to grace their balance book with a sale, rather than nickel and dime them into Chapter 11. The average American is in the struggle, but the auto industry is saying, fuck your struggle, come get this warranty. You want your balls hot for the winter to come, then you're gonna have to pay for these heated seats. You want warm taco for Valentine's Day, you're gonna have to pay to unlock the heated seats for the passenger too. I am so resentful towards the auto industry for the smartphoneification, the blind subscription box bundling of cars. What once was a symbol of freedom and customization now seems lashed to concepts of inflexibility and restriction. And I know, people have the choice to not buy these cars. You always have the choice when somebody tries to sell you something. You can tell them to kick rocks. I am 100% in favor of people telling me to go sit on it and spin whenever I tell them to buy our merch or subscribe to our Patreon. Because if we're going to get big mad about people having freedom of choice, then I'm not sure what we're even doing here. But if this somehow works, if Stellantis finds that these ads are getting people into dealerships, that they're getting people to buy warranties and service contracts, then other automakers are going to start doing it too. And at that point, we're all just driving billboards. A billboard that we're not even gonna own, because even after it's paid off, the manufacturer still has a presence in how you use your car. You will own nothing. And like it. In fact, you'll thank us for it, buddy. Oh, but real quick, can I interest you in an exclusive offer for Charger Daytona drivers for 4 months of discounted supercharging? Promo code WeHateYou. But what do you think? Do you agree that this is BS, or am I overreacting? If I am, please tell me. Let's chat in the comments. My screen name is Limited Time Roman. Like, comment, subscribe, tap the bell icon, share the video, or just tell me to kick rocks. That's fair, you know? Either way, all of these things help us out more than you know. But if you want to support the show in a bigger way, join us over on Patreon. Just $1 a month gets you exclusive content and early ad-free videos just like this one. Stay safe out there, and thank you so much for watching.